King Cobra.
How you doing, everybody? Welcome once again to an episode of the Urban Retrospect. Here we are. We're in season 2. We made it through season 1. And in season 2, we hope to bring you more information about products, more funny stories, more hanging with the fellas. And in this season, we're actually going to go ahead and introduce service providers, anywhere from web managers, accountants, financial planners, anything along those lines. Before we jump into today's show, we want to remind you who we are. Since I'm sitting here hosting for today's show, I'll remind everybody I'm your boy Kendrick Cloud, straight out of Cleveland, Ohio, born and raised, representing the Tennessee State University by the shores of the Cumberland, the land of golden sunshine. All right, on to my boy Scott Jones. Scott Jones, remind everybody who you are.
Scott Jones representing Hendersonville, Tennessee, right outside of Nashville, Tennessee. Graduate of Indiana State University on the shores of the Wabash River. represent. And although you all will see this show after the fact, we have to give a shout out for our new president of the United States, Joe Biden, and our vice president, Kamala Harris. We're making history.
That's right.
Let's go.
HBCU. All right, thanks a lot, Scott Jones. Scott Jones, now we're going to go ahead to the man in the Panhandle State. My homeboy, the countryest dude I know, Simply Pete.
Hey, this your boy Simply Pete. Hey, they let me do second season, so I didn't get fired. Like to give a shout out to everybody in Panama City, because it's cold down here. We're used to nothing below 50 degrees. Hey, I'm back. Second season. Let's go.
Let's go, man. And next, we're gonna go ahead to the Republicrat of the crew. You know, my homeboy that is. We just found out he's from the country because that's what his daughter put on the paper about his city.
Yes, she did.
So, 3, tell the people who you are, man.
What's up? It's ATL 3 back again. No doubt, comic relief for season 2. Bring it back. Want to say condolences to the man for not getting a second term, but you know, there's some good things, there's some bad things. Y'all all appreciate them checks. Keep it 100.
And especially that payroll deduction that we're gonna have to give back. So yeah, we won't talk about that on today's show though. All right, man. Let me go ahead to the smoothest brother in the brim, sitting down there looking like he's someplace on the beach, sipping on something with kiwi in it. Ramsey James, holla at the people, man.
The red bottom.
Right. What's going on, people? Ramsey James representing Tampa, Florida.
Yeah. Representing
Tennessee State University. And always representing Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. Let's get it for season 2.
All right, man. And then finally, last but not least, my homeboy since freshman year, the man who did not want to take me to the downtown campus to get some of those good chicken wings.
Yeah.
My homeboy who is representing the state of Alabama, unfortunately, the national champion at this time.
Baby. Roll Tide.
Wes, holla at the people, man.
What's up, man? It's your boy, Wesley Newell, repping Tuscaloosa, Alabama, living in Nashville. You know, alumni of the greatest HBCU there is, Tennessee State University.
Yep.
Also a member of Phi Beta Sigma. Second season, let's get it on. We about to clown.
Here we go, P. Let them know about TSU. And then listen, man, special shout out. The whole co-host could not be here with us today. Shout out to our boy Greg Jones, man.
Big
Straight
G.
out of Kentucky
Big
State
G.
University. Another HBCU. He's down in Cincinnati right now, but he's from the Hoosier State. All right, man. So, we miss you, Big G. See you on the next show, homeboy.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. As I
God's
said
work.
again, with this season, we're going to do something new where we are going to also highlight service provider. The young lady that you see down at the bottom, I'm gonna let her college friend and classmate introduce her and everything. But she is our first guest along those lines. So Scott, how about you tell everybody about our guests?
Well, before we introduce our guests about the services, the service that we are going to highlight and talk about this evening is marketing. And as you all may or may not know, Miss Rakia, who is down at the bottom, in Savvy Girl Strategies,
Yes.
spoke with us on a consultant basis prior to our even, developing this for second season, but letting us know some strategies that we need to do behind marketing. And I will go back even further, and my apologies, I didn't give the best introduction for Miss Rakia when we had the opportunity to have Mr. King Cobra on here.
Oh, yeah.
I failed to mention, not only did
Yeah.
Miss Rakia was my mentee and I was mentor, but she's also a member of Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. You see her represent the pearls down there.
Yeah.
She is
Make
a
a money move.
member of
Can we
the
get one?
Epsilon
Can we get
Xi
one? Can we get
chapter,
one?
Who is
Yeah, a little.
Come on, y'all just had a.
Go ahead.
She done broke my phone. She done broke my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. She
Why
good
y'all
at it,
sound,
man.
why y'all sound like y'all on a loudspeaker?
Oh, no.
God
They
damn.
said it country.
All right.
We-
It's always the loudest one in the room.
Right. But she's also, of course, chapter sisters with Miss Lucy. And Miss Rakia is celebrating 25 years as a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha. So she's a silver star.
Yes.
So-
Yes.
Rakia's background, I'm going to let her share that with you, but let me let you know that she does have the knowledge as it relates to what we will be talking about.
Yes.
She will be rolling out the urbanretrospect.com. But Miss Rakia, glad to have you on here.
Yes.
ma'am.
Thank
That's a
you.
little bit
Thank
about
you. Thank you. I'm happy to be here with you guys. So introducing myself. So like Scott said, I'm Rakia Campbell. I'm principal and owner of Savvy Girl Strategies, which is a boutique marketing and web design business. I consult small businesses on what they need to do with their marketing. I produce websites, help with social media branding and strategies, and really just here to support small Black businesses.
So how long have you been in business?
So Savvy Girl has been in existence since 2015. I started it at a time that I was still working full time. I'm still working full time right now as well. But I started it at a time that I wasn't in the role that I was in. I felt like I just needed something a little more challenging, something different to do in my spare time. And so wanted to figure out a way that I could use my skill set really to help other people. So started Savvy Girl Strategies in 2015. So what I've noticed during this time period that we've been in the pandemic is that it's almost like a resurgence, like a Black renaissance, that folks are starting to start new businesses. They've been laid off from their jobs. So they're like, well, you know what? I have time to follow that dream that I used to want to do 3 years ago. I mean, they're baking, they're starting blogs, they're writing books, they're doing all types of things. And so I thought, well, how can I use my skill set to really help people? So I do have some spare time on my hands, even though I work full time. And I thought, well, you know what, let me stir up Savvy Girl Strategies again and start offering my services to help people, help small businesses, Black owned small businesses specifically, be able to elevate their web presence, get more marketing toward their business, and really help them get on the right foot with starting their business.
Okay. So how did you get into marketing? What's your background?
So my background is, I majored in communications when I was at Indiana State. I graduated from Indiana State University and in Terre Haute, Indiana, and majored in communications, minored in marketing, thought at the time that I wanted to be a TV broadcaster, but then switched, found out a little more about PR and communications, and decided, you know what, I think I can, again, make a bigger impact behind the scenes. As I saw the pandemic happen, I had a lot of friends that lost their jobs, a lot of, friends' spouses who lost their jobs. And, the question was, okay, what am I going to do next? And so I just said, well, let me figure out how I can help, and started up Savvy Girl again.
Yeah. So why is it important to have marketing as a person who's like you say, in this pandemic, we got people starting business left and right. So why is it important for me to be out here selling my business like that?
With marketing, because
with marketing,
our first, we always, when we start a business, we go to low-hanging fruit. So we go to our friends, our neighbors, our family members, which is what you're supposed to do. Yes, which is what you're supposed to do. But that can only go so far. You can't continue to rely on your friends and family to, keep buying and you can, but, you have to think.
They're not dependable.
They're not dependable. Well, you've got to think bigger.
Right.
You gotta be like them Girl Scouts in front of Kroger.
Exactly. Yeah. Got that box.
You've got to expand your territory, and
box.
It's not always, when people from my clients that I've spoken with, it's not always about money. Like I said, I've got, authors that I've worked with, or an author specifically that I've worked with, who really just wants to help, promote their service, because they wrote a book about job searching and what's the best strategies to do that. They want to help people. So, how can I reach the highest number of people? So you've got to have a marketing strategy behind that in order to build your brand, you sell your product, sell your service, promote your service. So whatever it is, you need marketing to be able to do that, to spread the word. You can't rely on word of mouth.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So, but before you came on, I was taking a look at the website and all of the different services that you provide, whether it's website design, the logo creation, marketing plans, all of that. Out of all of the services that you provide, which one do you think is the most important for business owners to focus on? And is your answer industry dependent? Because I know different industries call for different things sometimes.
Yeah, that's a good question. I do think it really depends on the business. I offer website design, but I know some business owners that are doing really well without a website and just using social media. But even in that realm, there's pros and cons to just using social media. Social media is managed by a third party. So you don't have control over if you want to add a widget, or you want to do email marketing. You can have the email me button on your social media profile, but you don't have the advantage of, okay, as soon as they go to your site, there's a button that pops up that forces them sign up for my email list before they even get to the content and the meat and potatoes of your site. So,
I like that.
So there's pros and cons. Social media is really good for engaging with your customers, connecting with your customers, using it as customer service. It builds personal relationships. They get to know you personally, from DMs and things like that. But then there's advantages to website, because with a website, you can add what's called search engine optimization. So that's tagging, it's kind of design speak, but it's tagging on the back end of the site that allows your site to come up when someone Googles for someone that has a service or product like yours. You can't do that with Instagram. So a website allows you to get exposure to a broader audience, even international, where social media, yes, it's more personable. Yes, you have a kind of a button on who follows you and who your customers are, but the possibilities are really much more broad if you have a website.
Okay.
So to answer your question about what's most important, it really honestly just depends on the business.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, because that's what I was wondering. I imagine like you help with the logos, but I would imagine that that's lower on the importance scale.
Hmm.
But shoot, you could have been telling me no. And
Yeah.
and
Well,
sometimes and sometimes it also could be coaching. I mean, you've provided really kind of all of that for us, and so
Yeah.
where you've been a coach, you've helped us with the I don't know, not the logo, but you've helped us with definitely the
The
social
whole
media
thing.
marketing and the
Yeah.
website and everything. So
hmm
just
Hey,
want to
Yeah,
know
what
that.
what
yeah.
what coding language you write in? I remember you kept saying coding. What language you
Yes.
write in?
So actually, because I'm a boutique agency, I know how to code, but
Mhm.
I'll tell you this. Because as a small business owner, myself and anybody else, you have options when it comes to marketing. You can go to what's called a larger agency, or you can go to a boutique agency. Nine times out of 10, if you're going to a larger agency, unless you're requesting just like a static WordPress site, for a custom built coded website, it can range anywhere from $5,000 to $15,000 for something like that.
Hmm.
Me being a boutique agency, I don't charge those type of prices. I understand that my small business owners are just starting out, that they probably haven't budgeted for that type of expense. And to be honest with you, I don't use coding when I work with
Okay.
my clients. I build sites for the purpose of being able to hand my clients the keys and say, okay, I'm going to teach you how to do this yourself. Because if you
Right.
can cut and paste, if you can use a Word document and post pictures, if you can use social media, you can manage your own website on the back end. It's just someone needs to take the time to teach you, which is what I do with my clients. So I
Right. Right.
charge a very small fraction of that price because
Right.
I'm not using coding. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen watching the show, let it be said that we're not gonna give away the cookie store here. You need to contact her in order to get this.
They're right.
My
As
bad.
you do. I don't know if everyone realizes this, but there has been a consistent change with the videos for our episodes. When we first started, you had the and then pictures of us. Second show, we had
Mm-hmm.
the video the I want to say the logo going, but then that's when we had King Cobra's music up underneath.
There
Now I
you
want
go.
to say maybe
Mm-hmm.
the third or fourth show, that's when I finally was able to figure out how to put a image on the front end of the YouTube, and that was all Rakia's recommendation and
Yeah.
suggestion. So a lot of the stuff that you all have seen that has changed over the time from when we first started to now has been a result of consulting with Savvy Girl Strategies.
Ah,
So
thank
thank you.
you.
Savior.
Thank you.
I don't know, but so Ms. Rakia, what are some of the pitfalls that you might see for a young entrepreneur getting into the marketing game?
I think not being ready.
Mm.
Yeah, a lot of the
There you
pitfalls
go.
I see is that someone will start a business, they have a great idea, they don't have a logo, they've got the website, but they're ready to just go into marketing, but they don't have the inventory ready for that. They don't have the structure and planning ready for that to be able to handle. Okay, but when people start going there and start placing orders, are you ready to handle the demand?
Right.
And
Right.
so, some of the business owners that I've talked to, I want to scale up. I want to get more of this and get more of that. And, I try not to get into the nuances of, well, what do you got going on over here with this and that? But I want to empower my business owners to make, or my clients rather, to make sure that they're thinking about the bigger picture. Because I don't want to set them up for failure by saying, "Oh yeah, let me take your money. I'll get you set up." You da da da, and then next thing you know, 3 months later, the website is shut down because they made no plans and no space for expansion and growth. They weren't ready for the type of attention they were getting and the type of sales, the number of sales they were getting, and that type of thing. So I see some businesses that have that type of pitfall. Um, I see some that really don't want to get educated on what they need to do to market their business. They approach it with an attitude of, well, if I just build a website, it'll come. Where it's like, well, no, you need to have some strategies around what you're going to do to promote it. How are you going to, support and drive traffic to it if that's the home base of where you're making your sales? So again, I try to educate my clients on that. I don't expect, my clients are not, marketing experts. That's my role, but I feel like it's also my role to empower them so that they have an understanding and can take some ownership and know, no, you know what, I can do this myself. If I just spend a little bit of time every day doing some marketing or moving forward with a marketing strategy that I shared with them, then they'll see progress over time.
Mhm.
That's what's up. That's what's up. When they don't want to take your advice, tell them you're going to build 3 months in advance. That's just a little tidbit. I get you some marketing tips later.
Right.
That's that Republic crack coming through.
Yep.
So when it comes to hiring a marketing firm, either boutique or other, does size matter? Does the size of the business matter when it comes to making the decision to hire someone?
I don't think the size of the business matters, but budget definitely matters. If you go to a larger agency, you're definitely going to be charged more, primarily because there's several, at larger agencies, marketing agencies, there are several different people working on that account. So you as a client would be an account. Once you approach a large agency, they're going to assign you an account manager or account supervisor. That's going to be your main port of contact. So what you don't realize as a client is, when you're saying, okay, I want a website, that account supervisor has a copywriter, they have a website designer, they have someone to write up the content, they have a reviewer, they have a whole team of people that they go back to, and they're the liaison. So you never even meet those people. You don't know if they're qualified, you don't know how long they've been doing what they do, but you just communicate with one person. We're at a smaller boutique agency. 9 times out of 10, they have a smaller team. So you'll meet the entire team. They're sometimes a little more responsive. I mean, larger agencies, it's their job to be responsive. So I'm not saying that they're not, but it's a little bit more personable when you're working with a boutique agency. One thing that I can give some advice on is whether you decide to go as a small business owner, if you decide to go to a large agency or a small agency, the main thing that you want to see is good communication, responsiveness. You want to make sure that you feel comfortable, again, whether it's a big agency or small agency, to share your opinions and share your ideas. This is your business. So if you're meeting with a consultant or an agency that you don't feel like they're allowing you to voice your opinion about what it is that you want, that they're not trying to get your product to where it is that you see your vision going, that may not be the best fit for you, regardless if it's a big or small agency.
Now, does the size of the business matter?
Mm-hmm.
Just like say, like we have done a lot of reviews on companies that probably only have 2 people as overhead.
Mm-hmm.
Does the size of the business matter if they need marketing or?
No, every business needs marketing in some way, shape, or form. And honestly, like I said, marketing doesn't mean you have to hire an agency. Google is your friend. There are a lot of resources out there where you can actually get really good strategies, really good tips, and make it your own and figure out your own, what's going to work for your specific business. But I just know, and it's very rare, it does happen. Word of mouth is really great, but you really need a complex strategy in order to have longevity. And when I say complex, I mean using some social media, using your website, using search engine optimization, placing ads on the internet. There are different tools in the toolbox that can make up your big marketing plan to really get your thing out there. Because a lot of businesses fail because of just lack of marketing. It's not because they don't have a good product. It's not because they don't have good service. It's because nobody knows about them.
That's why they got to get savvy, girl.
It's just like the Popeyes chicken sandwich. They had a great marketing plan.
I don't appreciate the way they held back the chicken though. They held back the chicken and created some issues.
The marketing plan.
It's like the club. It's like when I don't go to the club anymore, but when you used to go to the club, it's empty in there, but they're holding the line because when people roll up, it's fat in there. No,
How
there's
you
nobody
know?
in
You
there.
look
They're
at
just
Twitter.
holding the
How you
line.
know?
This was
How you
years
know?
ago.
Lies,
This was years
lies.
ago.
You're right though. It
Lies.
is.
Well, one of the things that you mentioned was social media.
Hmm.
And, I know we have so many different forms of social media. I remember when it first came out, you had your MySpace. I want to say Black Planet. I don't even think Black Planet was necessarily you can
Yeah.
market on, but I'm sure there was some marketing that's being done on. But now you have your Facebook, you have Instagram, you have
Hmm.
Twitter, you have TikTok.
Hmm.
Could you share the importance of having a strong social media presence when it
Hmm.
comes to having
Absolutely.
a business?
Yeah, I will say when I moved to Atlanta in 2018, no, it wasn't 2018. I'm lying. It was 2008. I've been here longer than that. When I moved to Atlanta in 2008, the company that I was working for did not have social media at all. And at the time, it was just getting popular as far as companies using it to promote their business. So I actually just did some research, found out what some of our competitors were doing, and came up with a plan and shared it with my boss to say, look, these are case studies on how it's been successful for some of our competitors. Please let me introduce something. So we ended up actually getting on Facebook at that time, and what I've seen from 2008 to today is now it is literally a viable communication channel. Businesses need to have social media. You need to have a social media presence, if not for nothing, just to get feedback and find out the real deal about what people think about your business, because they're going to be honest with you out there with the reviews and with comments and things like that. Um, just to even let you know how big social media has grown over the years. When I got my master's in 2013, I one of the courses for my master's in integrated marketing communications was social media marketing. There was a whole course on it. So, and one of the case studies in that class was how NASCAR, which is one of the highest grossing sports in the world, if not the highest grossing, I think, they built an entire social media department where they have a room that's nothing but TV screens with live feeds on Twitter, Facebook, all of the channels where they're monitoring all of the comments and commentary about how NASCAR is being mentioned. They have a whole division dedicated to that now. So if these big, high grossing companies are using that and building departments around it, your little small business needs to be using it too. So the way that it's beneficial, number one, it's free. There's no cost to use social media. Like I said before, it helps you engage with your customers. It gives you an ability to have relationships with your customers, address customer service issues. There are a lot of benefits to social media. It's visual, adding pictures of your product, announcing when you have sales, things like that. And now, with Reels, specifically with Instagram, you can add video. So there's definitely benefits to that. And then, of course, there's a layer of advertising for Instagram and Facebook that you can actually place ads now as well. But the con to using social media, again, is you're unable to customize it. Instagram at their own whim can come up with a totally different algorithm that will mess up your entire little marketing plan that you had for social media. Where if you have your own website, you have control over that. If you want to, like I said, have a pop-up where people need to sign up for your email list, you have control over to be able to have that on your website. A website's better for lead generation. So, if you wanted to start a blog, you can add that component. As your business changes and grows, if you're going from selling a service to wanting to now add e-commerce at a shop, your website gives you flexibility to do that. So social media has its benefits, but I feel like social media paired with a website is just a winning combination.
So it's a tool.
It's a tool, exactly.
It's a tool, but it should not be the primary factor.
Right. I think so. But like I said, there are exceptions to the rule where there are some businesses that are just using social media. They do not have a website that are really thriving. But like I said, I know from a customer perspective, for me, like I think studies have been done that 93% of people, when they're looking for a new service or a business to use, they go to the internet, they Google
Yeah.
it. You know, we're not using yellow pages, which is, I'm dating
Not
myself, but
anymore.
we're not using yellow pages looking up businesses. We're Googling, we're using a search engine. So if you have a website, yes, sometimes your social media will come up, but you have a better chance of your website coming up if you have one when someone's looking for your business or product than you do your social media coming
That's
up.
true.
But if it's only your social media, yeah, it's going to come up. But again, a website gives you much more flexibility to be able to say what it is you want to with your customers. You can actually lower with a website if you build a page with FAQs about your product. You know, here's
Hold
the
on, you gotta
size.
say what FAQ stand for. I don't know what that
FAQs,
is.
frequently asked questions.
Okay, there you go.
So you can keep your phone, as a small business owner, you can keep your phone from ringing with a lot of different questions. If you have a website that has a page of, look, here's the size measurements, here's our return policy.
Yep.
You know, if you haven't gotten your product, here's where you need to call. You can curtail a lot of private DMs if you're just using social media, if you have a website that addresses all of those things.
Mm.
So there, like I said, I think there are some benefits to using social media as a tool, but your website is really your home base.
Hey, one thing though, you're right about this social media. It's sometimes you can happen.
Man.
One thing with Instagram, one of the tools in the stories is to swipe up.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah,
you
yeah.
cannot use it unless you reach a certain amount of viewers.
Exactly.
You have a certain. It's just like a lot of
Exactly.
criteria just to have that function.
Just to
But
have
something
that.
like what we do, we
Mm-hmm.
have to build up our followers.
Mm-hmm.
That way we can get more information out there.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Exactly. You want different ways for people to find you. You know, you're primarily, I call it meat and potatoes of your business is the YouTube channel. So, okay, well, how do we get more people to our YouTube? Well, have different ways that they can find you. Promote yourself on Instagram, promote yourself on Facebook, get your website out there. And actually, you know, have them even go to your website. They got to click there. It takes them right to YouTube. So they're not even skipping a beat. They're not having to do multiple clicks, but hey, the video is right here. They can see it. So people, it's always beneficial to have different ways for people to consume your content, because everybody's different. You have some diehard YouTube users, and you've got some folks that are just like, I just want to go to the website. I don't want to deal with YouTube because I'm dealing with ads and things like that. So,
Yeah, right.
so giving folks a different way to consume your content is always beneficial because you're reaching different mindsets at that point.
Now, to close this whole thing out, what we were looking for from you, or is there anything specific that you want to leave us with regarding anything that entrepreneurs should be really focusing on when it comes to marketing? Is there anything you want to share with the audience that is going on with your company, or any product or anything that you want to plug?
Specifically around my agency, just that I'm here to help. I'm here to help. I offer, like I said earlier, I offer, you know, web design, social media branding, general business consultation, you know, giving suggestions on how to get your LLC, if you even need an LLC, because every business doesn't need an LLC. Different things like that. So, so if anyone is interested, you know, feel free to reach out to me. My Facebook is Savvy Girl Strategies. My Instagram is Savvy Girl Comms, at Savvy Girl Comms. And then of course my website is savvygirlstrategies.com. Words of wisdom would be, just go ahead and start that business, and be mindful. You know, you see a lot of Instagram memes and quotes saying, you know, no sleep, you drop that 9 to 5, and everybody's not meant to be a business owner.
No,
And
no, you're right. You're right.
number one, and number two, everybody's also not meant to quit your full-time job to become a business owner.
Exactly.
You know, and who's to say you can't have both? I'm doing both, and I've probably been more fulfilled career-wise than I ever have been. So personally fulfilled. So so I feel I would just encourage folks, you know, do your research, take the steps. If you have something that's been sitting on your heart about, you know, I need to write that book, or I need to, you know, start selling my cupcakes, go ahead and do that, and take the steps to do it. And don't skip out on the marketing piece. whether you're hiring an agency like mine to do it for you, or whether you're reading books on your own on how to do it. There's an immense amount of information out there where folks can really do it themselves. But the benefit of having a professional work with you is, again, specifically when it comes to website design, is the eye of what is appealing to people. I actually did a social media post a while back around the psychology of colors and marketing. When you go to restaurants, a lot of restaurants use the color red because psychologically they have found out that red spurs hunger when you see the color red. So a lot of restaurants use that. When you see green, you think of earth. So there's different colors that can be used in your logo depending on what your business is. That, again, from a professional perspective, I can provide you that consult. But just because you didn't use a color wheel for your logo doesn't mean you're not going to be successful. But I just encourage folks to just keep going. If you want to start that business, if you want to grow that business, if you have goals that you set for 2021, with us all, most of us being in a virtual space now, with work and with life, there's just different tools that are coming online and that are available to really help you be successful. So just look into that and do research on it would be my words of wisdom there.
So once again, Rakia, on behalf of the crew here, we want to say thank you, not only for coming on the show today, but also for helping us so much this far. When we tell you that she's the plug, she's the plug.
Exactly.
She's the plug.
Yes.
We've kind of hinted at a lot of things that she's helped us out with, that she's hooked us up with, but she also hooked us up with her son, and that's why we got the fly intro and outro music.
Yeah.
That's time we got talent. They got talent.
Shout out to King Cobra once again.
Yes, sir.
So again, everybody, thank you for joining this episode of the Urban Retrospect. Keep tuning in, looking at us and checking us out. We leveling up. Look, you see, we all got the shirts, you know what I'm saying? Popping them on everybody. Rakia told us we need to be uniform.
Yeah.
And what do? We got uniform
on that A.
You know
I don't know if you noticed the sites, but you can catch the Urban Retrospect on Facebook. You can also catch the Urban Retrospect on YouTube and subscribe. You can also catch the Urban Retrospect on Instagram. If you want to catch us on Twitter, it is Retrospect1619, and I'm going to close us out with
Come with it.
www.theurbanretrospect.com.
Yay!
.com.
Yeah.
We shining on you
global.
now. Again, everybody, thank you for tuning in. Check out all of those points of contact that Scott just hit us up, and we're also at Gmail at theretrospect.com if you want to shoot us an email as well. All right, you know what I'm saying? Thank you again, Rakia Campbell of Savvy Girl Enterprises, and thank you to the fellas for joining us. Here's to 2021. You can't see it. There we go. Here's to 2021, and more things coming from the Urban Retrospect. Stay tuned. We'll holler at you later.
Peace.